Oh, hey there, crypto pirates. How you going out there, YouTube land? Welcome to the Hex Late Show. Back for another round of the episode, day 43. Bluey,
what's happening?
How you going, boys?
Louis, what's going on? Unrigged, what's happening?
Oh, just living
Louis?
the dream. Loving it.
Living the dream, yeah. Flotation tanks and saunas today.
Yeah. Hey, just
tell us about that, man. Tell us about that. Flotation tanks.
Yeah, it was like a full-on place. It was really expensive. It was like an infrared sauna, and you could adjust the different LEDs and stuff to what infrared you wanted, and then you did the flotation, which was just, basically lying in a really magnesium salt-filled pool for, I don't know, 45 minutes or something. Yeah, it was hardcore.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking very regal there, and you're looking nice and relaxed, Louis.
Yeah,
so that's good. We're off to a good start, and I must apologise for last week. I couldn't attend the show, and I really was bitter about that because two of my favourite Hexicans were on. You had had DJ Cryptomatic and Freddie Quotes. So that was it was a great episode, the Hex Late Show last week, and we're back for more of that tonight. And if you're joining us for the first time, we're all about the Hex crypto. It's the 100% uptime, triple audited, best performing digital asset in the world, 2020, 2021. It's going great. And if you're in crypto and you haven't heard of it and you're not in Hex, well, you're not doing it right. Isn't that right, boys? Isn't it? How good is Hex? How awesome is Hex?
Never a dull day. Even when it's going sideways, there's dramas. Hey, Jexa.
Hey, Jexa.
How's it going, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you look like you're on the tools, mate? You've been out on the tools today.
I'm actually on holidays.
You're on. Even better.
So I'm calling in remote. I haven't got the usual level of tech around me, so
yeah,
we'll see how we go.
That's good, mate.
You're in a study. You look, yeah. I like how you have all the books and stuff behind you because it makes you look smart.
I need all that sort of stuff.
No, we know you're smart, mate. We know you're very good. And,
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, we value everyone's input on the show, and that's what it's all about. The level of expertise, and I guess letting people know about the best crypto, the greatest thing since sliced bread, really, in my opinion. And if you haven't got some, it's easy to get, and all you need to do is go over to onto ethhex.com and swap your ETH for Hex. Swap your ETH for Hex and then stake your Hex. Buy it and stake it. But anyway, sorry, I digress into some basic things there. And
no, that's actually good, Unrick, because I've got a lot of new people wanting to get into Hex at the moment, and we still don't have that direct fiat to Hex link. So it does mean it's a little bit more of a challenge to get your Hex. But that's right.
You have to do a little bit. You have to do a little bit of work, don't you?
Yeah, and
educate yourself.
And I've got what you'd call crypto veterans that still think it's too hard to buy, and really, it's not that hard. That's the opportunity. Well, if you can get off your
hard to buy. Here's a story, and I saw this in the Hex Australia chat, and that's been growing really rapidly as well. We're getting a lot of new Aussies into the Hex Australia chat, but. I was onboarding a guy, and I think you had the same experience, Jex, so we've talked about it before, that the banks froze up his account from just trying to put money from his bank account onto the exchange. And he had to go into the bank and they wanted to show him. They wanted him to show what he did. And he sat down at the computer and did the transfer in front of them. Like,
serious?
That's what
that's next level invasion
crazy,
privacy, isn't it?
Isn't that crazy? Unbelievable. Mr. Tangent.
Tangent. What's going on?
Yeah.
Hey.
There he is.
How's everyone?
Yeah, good. We're covering a few basic things about just buying your Hex at the moment and how it's more than just a single step to get your Hex, but those people that take the time and figure it out, that's the opportunity. By the time it gets to the stage where it's on all the exchanges, that's we're going to be a lot further along the paths, and it's going to be worth a lot more at that point in time. So
I totally agree with that. Totally agree, Jexa. If you guys put in the effort now and get in when everyone else, it's too hard for everyone else, you will reap the benefit of that. It's like anything. The things that are too hard.
Correct. Looking style as man.
No
I love the
way.
style.
yeah, you've got a suit. I didn't even realise you had a suit on there.
Killing it.
Don't worry about me, mate. I've got it all sorted around here.
Is that bespoke? That suit.
If
Love
I'm
the
going to put on, if I'm going to put myself on TV, I've got to like represent. I've got to be. We've got to restore some legitimacy to the cryptocurrency space, don't we?
I'm looking real average tonight. I've just got my footy on, and
How was that grand final? Melbourne D's won first time in 60 years or something. Crazy. Yeah. Going nuts down there in Victoria. Day 43 was everyone just locked down and miserable. What's the go? What's the go with that? But let's not go there because that's a can of worms. But anyway,
so open up a can of worms. Mate.
I heard it was.
We've got more important things to talk about.
And Melbourne's loss was Perth's win in that case as well. We got to host.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think would ever happen. So,
that was good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 years in a row that Melbourne have missed out on their own grand final.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy times, isn't it? Who would have thought that?
Hey, OG43, did you watch the UFC? Did you watch Volkanovski beat what's his name?
I didn't actually.
Do you need to give a spoiler alert first?
Oh, it happened last weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a bloody good. It was a great fight. Like it was a great.
I saw highlights. From what I could see, Volkanovski was just in great shape.
Yeah.
And he just outworked him. Just outworked him from what I could see.
Yeah. And he was in like a guillotine for like 20 seconds and just managed to get out of it. It was pretty tight, that one.
Nice, man. I'm going to go check out the whole fight. I'm going to go check it out. Because that guy he was fighting, what's his name? T-City or...
No,
that's his nickname, T-City, because he just throws up triangles.
Yeah.
Ortega, yeah. I've got to check it out, man. Yeah, but that Volkanovski, he's like a ex-rugby player. So he's a tough dude. He's tough.
He's a little nugget. He's a little nugget of muscles.
He might get offended if you call him Nugget. He might think that you're like comparing him to Alex Saunders or something.
So Bluey, tell us more about this flotation tank, mate. What's the go there? What do you do? Is it like meditation or floating in space or something?
Yeah, I suppose so, because you kind of it's like all salt water, so you're floating on the top of the water, and you put a little floating thing under your head so that your head's above the water. You can't get any on your eyes or anything because it just kills. It's like more intense than the Dead Sea, and it's like full on. And you can turn off the light, and you just you just zone out and bliss out and try and relax. And it's got.
Are you in there by yourself? Or?
Yeah, you can do it like with a partner if you want.
Okay.
I think the water temperature's set at like 37.6 or whatever, so it's matched to your temperature. Yeah, matched to skin temperature, so you lose all the sensation. So it's like sensory deprivation sort of things where you can switch the lights off. Can't feel around your skin. You're floating, and I think you can have music and stuff in there if you want.
They had music. I had music as well. Yeah.
And what's the health benefit for that? What does it do?
It's relaxation. Well, it's magnesium. First of all, it's loads of magnesium into your body, but it's just deep relaxation,
like
meditation
sort of stuff. Was that the first time you've done that, or have you tried it before? Hey, oh my God, we got a special guest on our coming into the stream day 43. What are you doing?
Mr. Wales.
How are you, Wales? Trouble here. Here we go. Look at this.
Glad to be here. You guys can hear me all right?
Yeah. Mate.
We can hear you well,
streaming
mate.
Up a storm, mate. You're everywhere, mate. You are everywhere.
Try to be, man. Just spreading the good word, right?
Totally, mate. Doing God's work there, mate, for sure. Helping people to the life raft.
Thank you,
That
man.
is
I
Hex.
appreciate that. Just
No,
trying
it's
to.
a big deal, mate. It's a big deal, man. It is a big deal. I mean, we try to help it. We're doing the same. That's the reason why we do this stuff too, because there's a very real reason for financial freedom. I mean, who doesn't want it? Isn't that the goal for everyone? Don't you want to be in control of your own destiny?
Even the commies want that. That's why communism exists.
Oh, you guys want to hear something crazy that I didn't even think of myself? This is epic. So, when Bitcoiners run like conferences and meetups and dinners and stuff like that, they charge ticket price. Like you have to buy tickets to eat dinner with them. You have to buy tickets to go to their conferences, buy tickets to their meetups and things like that. Like Max Kaiser's F Elon tour. You have to buy tickets to that shit. Hexicans, meetups, touring, all that stuff, free.
Yeah,
free.
That's crazy. I had no idea they were charging for meetups.
That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, well,
everything free. Richard Hart streams free. No ads on streams. There's no ads on my streams either. Like it's so because the Hexicans they actually just want to promote the message, and they're not interested in actually getting money for the work. Like, you know what I mean?
We got Hex. It does the Hex does everything. All of our shilling and all, if you call it shilling, or all of our conversations are underpinned by the value proposition of Hex. It's brilliant. So we have no worries.
So you don't have to sell your Hex to fund to do things like that. You can
Sometimes I do come across as a bit of a salesman, but yeah, you're right. I try not.
But isn't it strange? You would think that if there's
it.
people who are OG in a crypto, that they wouldn't have to charge like a ticket price to eat dinner with them. You'd think they'd just be like, come and eat dinner.
Come and have a dinner.
That's hilarious. That was like that Tone Vase one, yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of jokes about Tone Vase charging $800 to go and have a steak with him or something like that.
Wow. Well, one thing I will say as far as like ads on YouTube, because I turned them on, and this is why. I'll tell you guys why. I turned them on because it actually helps pump the actual.
Yeah. I have heard that.
Yeah,
I have heard that. YouTube will promote your channel more because obviously they're now financially incentivized to promote your channel because they're getting ad revenue.
That's right.
Correct. So that's the only reason I've turned ads on. I've discovered that the hard way, and ever since I've done that, my sub growth has been retarded. So it's something to take into account, because at the end of the day, we're not getting rich off of YouTube. We're never going to be wealthy from anything that we do with respect to fiat. And that's just something Hexicans have to realize. A lot of them don't understand that because they don't do the math. So I'm just going to keep repeating it. No matter what endeavor you engage in with respect to fiat, it's never going to make you more Hex. So give the middlemen all the money they want if you have to, assuming you think that they're middlemen, right? Because it's about understanding with the actual mechanism of what's going on. A lot of people are just quick to assume stupidity without actually doing the math, right? And this is why my message is strictly mathematical, not opinionated, ever. We don't have time for that shit. That's why we're here.
Yep. So, hey, mate, we respect that.
So those ads aren't actually that bad because you can skip them.
Right. And that's another thing, right? A lot of the things, actually, hold up. There's going to come a time where you're not going to have an option either. They're just going to put ads in your face, whether you monetize them or not. Yeah. And on top of that, depending where you watch it, they're running ads anyway.
Yeah.
So,
like pretty much every time they release a new app update, it is solely for the purposes of another way they can inject an ad in your face, and it's they have different ways of things popping up now, and it's crazy. That's the only benefit I see of the app updates every time they come out.
But you know what
I've actually got premium.
You know what the ridiculous thing is that if you watch YouTube with Brave browser, you don't get any ads.
Oh yeah, but Brave's actually pretty good at blocking.
That's not true.
Blocking ads and things.
I've never seen a YouTube ad. I don't see any YouTube ads on my browser.
Careful using Brave. That's all I'll say.
What's that, Wells?
Yeah, I know Richard Hart came out with that tweet, but when I kind of questioned him a little bit more about it, like, is this a real security threat? Do I need to, go hardcore, like emergency end state these or whatever? He was like, no, it's just that he doesn't like the people who run it. And it's interesting because I researched into all the people behind it, and I don't really understand why he's got such a hate on for them. It looks like they're really, I mean, they say they're, like about, like privacy and, maintaining control of your own, everything. And you go to Brave and there's no YouTube ads. I can watch YouTube without ads.
I like Brave.
Yeah.
There was one thing that they did that was a little bit dodgy, but they apologized for it really badly and they took it away. It was like, I think they were pre-filling certain things. Oh, that's right. If you went to go to like an exchange, they would like pre-populate their ref link into get the referral for you signing up at a cryptocurrency exchange. And then they got caught out for that, and they were like, "Look, we're really sorry. You're right. That was a terrible idea. It goes against like the ethics of our company. We're sorry we did it." But they probably convinced themselves that it wasn't that big a deal, right? They're like, "Well, if someone's signing up anyway, we might as well just get the ref," and then realize that it is a little bit too deceptive. Other than that, I've found the browser to be really good. I mean, I wouldn't personally invest in the token, but I think the browser's good.
Yeah, for me, it's just a function of who they are. As I know, because I'm American, I live here. I know all these people. I always do my homework on all these clowns in Silicon Valley, right? And that's what it's about. It's about where are these people? How do they get to still exist in that mess that is Silicon Valley? Because Silicon Valley is a mess, right? The tech world is not here for us. It's something people just have to get like in their head. If they were here for us, they wouldn't need to trick you into giving up your privacy. So this is something you have to understand, right? So that's just one facet of what I'm talking about. Again, how do these people exist in Silicon Valley? That's the question. That's the question.
If they were here for us, they'd already be in jail.
Exactly. Wait, what? Repeat that.
If they were here for us, they would be in jail.
Exactly.
Like
correct.
Snowden and Schwartz.
Be careful with Snowden, because this is something that I've come to find out is even.
All right, bad example. Schwartz, and other Fluffy Pony, Schwartz, people that.
Yeah, but that's my point, right? Like, look at how everybody buckles. They're not here for you. Richard is. Hexagons are. Period. My opinion is a fact, right? This is why our streams run hours on end, because we're not here talking bullshit. We're here talking reality. So it's just a whole different point of view from what people are used to, and it's confusing, right? Because when people find the Hexa community, they're like, "What the hell is this?" They have no idea that anything like this exists. You have to literally be on Twitter or in the Telegram chats, seeing what people are saying. You have to, because if not, you have no clue, right? What we're doing over here is completely unique to what you're finding elsewhere, and that comes from. Go ahead.
I was going to say, sorry to cut you off, but I know that you've done a particular stream on some news that has come out of the US recently, and it's pretty topical, feeds into what you're talking about. And that was they were talking about introducing a bill where it seems like they're trying to encroach a little bit further the SEC and the what's the commodities one? CT. Okay.
CFTC.
Hey, can I just interrupt? Did I just want to do a shout out to the chat? We've got over 100. We've got around 130 viewers at the moment. And Nardo for the win, mate. Cheers, mate. Love your work, and thanks for supporting the Discourse Syndicate Network. We stream here every Tuesday, and we're talking about the greatest crypto of all time. That's Hex. And but look, we it's an open forum, so we're happy to sort of explore concepts and other areas as they arise. So anyway, I just thought I'd thanks for the super chat, mate. And as you were, Jexa.
Yeah. So I know I'm pretty sure you've done a whole stream on that bill, Wales, about how they're trying to sort of classify a lot of cryptos as digital assets or what they're calling digital securities. And there was. Am I correct in saying you did do a stream on that? Whale?
Yes, I did.
Yep,
I did. Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I did.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And the whole purpose of that stream was just to highlight how Hex is unscathed. But really, any crypto is unscathed.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I haven't watched your stream yet.
No
I did watch another video that I'd seen that was just sort of talking in general terms about it. But the thing I got was, the Hex, the way it has been launched, the way it runs, actually means it is free and clear of all of these things they're trying to introduce. Now, so is there voting rights in Hex? Well, no, there's not. So that's a big tick. Is there a centralized entity that's paying your yield? No, there's not. It's a contract. So Hex just across the board was just tick, 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 and it's looking really strong from that point of view. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to go after a lot of projects that are promise coins at the moment. But I think if they get some traction on those, they will inch further and further and try and put that more across onto the DeFi space as well, is the general feel I get from that. And this is just based in America at the moment, so it's not anywhere outside of that.
I mean, in the end, they can't regulate it because they can't censor or stop it. So, like, they can come up with all the rules they want, but in terms of something, and then maybe with some of them, they do have centralized places where they can have choke points. But with Hex, it's impossible. Like, it's just literally impossible. So
it's impossible to enforce. You know, if you make those rules, you just can't enforce it.
Yeah,
across everyone.
With decentralized stuff, totally. But I guess the point of that is it's the old thing. If you give someone an inch, they'll take a mile. So as soon as they start to inch in these rules, and they
100%,
capture
that's the problem.
they capture the things they can capture at this point in time, and start to reclassify things, and then use that as precedent to try and drag more into their jurisdiction.
Yeah. Well, that's another area we could talk to the cows come home.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you guys listen to Adam Stokes' interview with that.
Yeah, that was
that guy.
That was good.
That really gave a bit of an eye-opening thing, and it just looks like it's this massively they're all corrupt. Like, you've got the SEC fighting the CFT or whatever for who wants to have jurisdiction, so they can go after all these cryptocurrencies, and that's because they want money. They want to be able to.
I've been seeing a lot of things. I've been seeing a lot of things on the internet and on TV and things about, look at Australia. Geez, that's bad. But I reckon America's a bit more of a basket case than what we are. Wouldn't you agree? Well, we got the majority here. Wales. But look at
choose your poison. Choose your poison, mate, isn't it?
The thing is, right?
That's pretty much it.
What do you see? What do you see in Wales? You got any insights at the moment around what's the general feeling? Because I know that we've been getting quite excited about just the feeling. There was was it a teaser or something coming out about the highest of stakes? There's another guy doing an investigative type documentary into Hex, and it just feels like we're just the floodgates are about to open. Where do you think we're at?
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on in the background that people can't see. That's definitely gonna make Hex just take off to tunes that we just couldn't have imagined. Just because people understand what's going on, right? Like, look at everything we were just talking about as far as legislation goes. You know, we're dealing in a point in time where you have to take control of what you want. All of this regulators and rulemaking, and here's something important to understand. There's a reason they call them rules and mandates. It's because they cannot be laws. Okay. That's key to understand.
China banning Bitcoin on the weekend. They're like,
they've been banning them since 2010. Who even cares anymore? I don't even understand why people give that shit any importance.
Yeah.
Like, it's so irrelevant, it's not even funny. Whoever bans crypto or whatever they think is crypto, good luck to them.
Do you think it's a bit weird that the Chinese government is the largest holder of Bitcoin?
No, it's not weird. They're trying to get more. They're not stupid. The only people that are stupid are the plebs that actually believe headlines and don't connect dots.
Yep.
Right. Yep. If you trade off of headlines or make investment decisions off of headlines, you're gonna get wrecked. Not an opinion, just a fact. So it just depends what you ultimately want, right? Do you want success, which is what most Hexicans clearly want, or do you want to get wrecked? So I prefer to be unwrecked.
Exactly.
So your take on all of that whole situation, Wales, is they don't have the legal right to try and introduce what they're...
No, they don't have any rights. See, because everything they do is a breach of your human rights. People just don't know that because they don't read. If everybody read, and I mean literally everybody, the world would be different. But nobody has any incentive to educate themselves outside of being told what to do. And this is why we have the world we have in 2020 or 2021, right? I mean, Hex is the perfect analogy for the world. Hex is literally like the conspiracy theorists in the real world or outside of the promise coin space, and then everybody else is just a moron. That's it. You can take it how you want.
I'm not going to agree with you.
Mate, I love the analogy. I love it.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's sad but true. Sad but true.
It feels like we're in a bus, or we're going along on this journey. It's a wonderful magic carpet ride, as they say. We're shouting out, "Hey everyone, you want to jump on here because this is really good? Come and have a look." And then you see some of the stuff. It's just crazy. It's like, why?
But it's building.
Why can I see this and everyone else is not?
Yeah, but it is.
Wait, Unrek, can I build on the analogy and say
more holders and stakers, and it's building. And the next 6 to 12 months is just going to be epic. Sorry, tangent.
No, it's all good. I was going to say I'm going to build on that analogy and say it's also notice the similarity that it's like so obvious, screaming it, and most people still blind.
It seems so obvious to us. But there's some really good websites. I think Crypto Coffee's put a new website out, just like really, really for noobs, people that are just coming in and haven't experience with crypto. So a lot of the stuff that we take for granted. Now, I don't confess to know everything. I certainly wouldn't be. If we know everything, we might as well pack up our bat and ball and go home. But like these websites have got like tutorials and onboarding tools, and like the Hexicans are really, really resourceful, and that's probably why we're seeing that, because it is a little bit complicated to you've got to do a little bit of work. You got to do a little bit for yourself to actually understand Hex and get involved. So you know what I mean?
Do we know? I haven't seen Crypto Coffee's latest site. Do you know
I saw it the other day. I was looking. If I can find it, I'll put it in the chat.
And that's all free content.
Community-based websites, of course.
Is that hexnoob.com? No.
What's it called?
Is that hexnoob.com?
That's it. That's the one. I think that's it.
Oh, is that Coffees? I didn't realise that was Coffees. There you go.
I think
that's great.
He may be.
Yeah, we've been shilling that site.
Yeah. That's it. Hex Noob.
Hang
on.
on.
No, there's another one.
All right.
That's a good website. Here's Sammy. How are you?
Hey, good. Are you making fart noises? I'm Reg Pirate.
Someone is.
I'm muted.
I did hear that before.
It's not I.
It is so you.
I don't make barnyard noises. If I did, my chair, it'd be like a swivel chair like this. That's making it not me backside. I wouldn't do that in public, and I wouldn't do it on the World Wide Web. And here we are. Anyway, let's get back to talking about what's important now. Tangent, how you going, mate, with your streaming? You've been a bit intermittent. Where were you
good.
On Cabana Crypto on the weekend?
I really enjoyed being on Cabana's happy hour.
Aren't they great guys?
Awesome. And it inspired me to do my own guest stream. So shortly afterwards, I think a day or two after, I did a stream where anyone could come on my channel. So we did 2 with guests, and then I've done a couple of other streams where it's just me. So that's been good. It's been really good.
Was that the one you did in the middle of the night, the other night?
Yes, yeah, for the happy hour one. For Jexa and I, it means getting up before 5 a.m. to be ready to stream at 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So, it's funny because when I used to work in the mining industry, I used to really hate getting up early because I'm not a morning person. And, so in my mind, I was like, if I'm ever completely financially free, I'm never going to wake up this early for anything. But then if it's for Hex, I'm like, well, I mean, technically I didn't get up for it. I just stayed up for it. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? for
You
Hex.
did well. No, you did really well. And David Feder was dropping some truth bombs about the testnet as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. We had a good chat. He was dropping some seriously interesting info, and it was really good. And I was repeating myself without realizing it. I was so because I came home already drunk and then drank a bottle on stream because it was it's called happy hour, right? And so by the end of this stream, I was gone. I was just absolutely gone.
Yeah, I know you were.
Hey, Tangent. Tangent, your YouTube channel is almost at 1,000 subscribers. I'm just wondering whether if we shill it tonight on stream, we can get you over that 1,000 subscriber mark.
Yeah, I made a tweet. I made a tweet. It was a poll asking who thinks, like, what do you guys think is going to happen first? Hex over 50 cents or my channel getting to 1,000 subs? And most people voted for Hex going to 50 cents first. And I actually think either could happen, right? Because I think I'm within 30 people, like 30 subs of 1,000. And obviously Hex can pump at any moment, right? So it's like either could happen within the short term. So
you're at 984. So you're only 16 subscribers away. 16 subscribers away. That's not even 10% of the viewers that we've got watching right now. So if you're a viewer that hasn't subscribed to Tangent's channel, let me just bring it up on screen.
Tangent. It's Hex
and Wales only as well. If you want to get your
a good portion of subscribers are actually from you shilling my channel on these streams and on other media as well, like Telegram and Twitter and stuff like that. I really appreciate all of you.
That's it.
That is awesome.
There we go. No worries, man.
Like these streams will be nothing without the audience in the chat. Definitely.
It's Hex_Tangent. Go check it out and subscribe. And while you're at it, while you're subscribing to his, we've got Wales only. Is it Wales only one on YouTube?
Or is Wales only?
Just Wales only.
I think it's Wales gap only.
No need to show
sorry. All in one word. No gap.
No, all good, man. No need to show me though. Tangent will definitely hit 1,000 subs before we see 50 cents in Hex. That's a no-brainer.
Oh, really?
Wales,
you believe in my sub count that we'll hit that before?
No, it's just math, bro.
It's on the regression analysis.
No regression required here. It's just math. It's just about how things move. Hex is designed to double. Like, that's literally all I've been saying, and I've realized that people don't really get that. But that's what log base 2 means. So every time Hex doubles, it's gonna stop moving. It has nothing to do with supply and demand. It's just what it does. It's crazy, but it's program money. People need to wrap their head around that. This is not a market like what you're used to. Yeah, exactly. It's not what you're used to.
So our next double's up around the 92
cents. I made a chart on it.
Yeah. No, well, if you're sticking by your numbers, I think it'd be 96, wouldn't it? Around then, I think.
Yeah, no, it's 92 because the last double was 46. That's what Richard tweeted. That's what I'm using to base the math on, his metrics or his numbers. And I think he's using that based off of the all-time low, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But either way, it's lining up that way, and that's.
We all agree it's likely that Hex October.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be $1 before the end of October. Fact, not opinion. Yeah.
Wow. Anyone in here disagree with that?
You heard it here first.
Does anyone want to step to Wales and disagree with that?
Oh, no,
I agree.
Anybody can disagree. It's just math.
It'll make my October. Hey, thanks for the super chat too. I'm not sure what a DKK is, but
Danish krona.
We'll take it.
Danish krona.
Good stuff. Thank you. Much appreciated. The Discord Syndicate Network. Thank you.
Has there been anything going on with the liquidity? I thought I saw some.
Yeah, someone said that was added. Hey.
Yeah, correct.
Are we allowed to talk about? Are we allowed to talk about what goes on in some of the chats? Because Sammy, you've been busy. Sammy, you've been busy with the memes. Busy with the hot anime girl memes.
Yeah, you liked them, didn't you?
Of course, I liked them.
What?
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I like them?
I saw them. They were awesome.
Who wouldn't? What red-blooded male wouldn't like a hot Robin chick?
Are you allowed to put them off? Or
a Hexican chick, even better. Hey,
Well, if you can drop your thoughts in our Telegram chat, any good or bad feedback, give me them because I'm thinking of using them for thumbnails.
yeah. I heard a funny one, and it was, remember in the old Hex chat, someone was talking about, Hex is a financial product. Do you really think it's a good idea to have Barbie dolls snorting cocaine off? I don't know if that sends the right message. It's not the first impression that we want to give to our potential customers. Hey,
we want to cast a wide net.
Well, I think it's important to remember that this is a decentralized endeavor.
Yeah.
People need to just chill out on trying to tell others what to do.
Yeah.
Like this
Hell
is
yeah.
not for
Hell
that.
yeah.
Hey, we're here to have a good time.
We need some
That's
office. Hey, Sammy, we need some office Barbie scenes. For
Secretary Barbie.
It's too boring. We're not going down that path. Free thinkers. How you going, Wales only? You all right?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man. I'm living a good life. I can't complain. No complaints here.
Good to see you on the show again.
Glad to be here. Seriously am. I love talking Hex and I love talking to free thinkers, so why not, right?
Awesome. What time is it there?
Oh, it's 8 in the morning. It's not late here. It's not super early. It's a reasonable time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, mate.
So, what are we talking about? Why is liquidity being added all of a sudden?
Heaps.
Anyone know why?
What's that? That's okay. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let people catch an error.
What's going on?
What's
going on there, Tangent? What are we seeing?
Who can tell us a little bit about this?
That actually surprised me because that's exactly what's showing on my screen right now. So when it popped up, I was like, I don't remember sharing my screen, but obviously someone else had their screen. So this is not my screen. I'm not in control of that cursor. But so it looks like we're towards the tail end of the liquidity. So we're closer to the bottom end of it. But look, over time, I've actually been, and I'm not just saying this because now that we're on the bearish side of it, but over time, I've been putting less and less weight into where we are on this particular curve because it appears to me that it's quite a dynamic provision of liquidity. So as the price moves, the liquidity actually moves quite quickly around it. So I wouldn't be too scared. This doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to drop off the tail end of this liquidity, but what's this? So basically, it looks like there's a pretty fat sell wall that goes from sort of 45 cents up to 54 cents. That's the highest section bell curve. Anyone else want to make any comments on this particular chart?
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Is that 5 cent wall still down there?
Yeah, you'd have to zoom out, but it is there. I checked recently. It's actually got a bit more added to it in the front end of it. So it's like 6.4, I think, maybe, is the front edge of that wall. But I mean, I would seriously be shocked if we went below sort of like low 30 cent prices, like 33, 32 sort of cents. So a wall down at 6 cents is just so far out of the picture. It doesn't really matter.
It's kind of weird that they're leaving it there, huh?
I think it's
Wales going to talk to this. Can you give us an insight there, mate?
Yeah. I was actually just looking at like what's happened in terms of ads and removes, and it's interesting because we've just recently had all of these ads, probably in the past 24 hours, like a shit ton. Like 100K and up almost for the majority of, except since about 48 hours ago. It says 2 days ago when you look at the ads. If you go to page 2, you'll see the third row up. It says $91,000 basically. And what you see after that point going up is that all the transactions are basically almost that amount until you get to the first page, which then jumps up to 500K, and then it drops off a little bit. But it's somebody or maybe a team of people, who knows? But I don't read too much into this stuff because it literally doesn't matter.
So sorry, you're saying, I haven't looked at this recently. You're saying there's a lot of the same amount of ads going in, so same hex amount. ads going.
Yeah, I mean, it's so what happens when somebody puts liquidity in a liquidity pool? They're taking two sides of the trade. So just because somebody's put an order out there doesn't mean anything, because again, the transaction has to actually be ticked, right? Like they have to be willing to take that order. And it's like Tangent said, as long as price keeps moving, that's going to keep changing. So I wouldn't read too much into it, because this is just what's happened in the past 48. What happens if price just automatically rips to 50 cents? You think those orders aren't going to disappear? Better believe it. It means nothing in reality. When you think of a centralized order book, that's what you got to remember, right? This is actually weaker than a centralized order book. So anybody picking up a sell wall is just playing with fire.
So you're saying that it's not going to take that much to move the price through to 50 cents, clearly?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Even I know we've seen it smash through sell walls like that, bigger sell walls than that in the past. You know, I can remember it was sort of dancing when we first started looking at this stuff, sort of around about the 16, 17 cent mark. You know, there was huge sell walls that we were, you know, we sort of getting bogged. We thought we'd get bogged down in, but Hex just, as you said, it's doubled 13 times since the start.
But what you're looking at there, Unrek, what you're looking at there, though, is not a sell wall in the traditional sense.
Okay.
So once price moves,
liquidity. It's liquidity.
Once it moves through that wall, then it becomes buy support. So it's only if people choose to remove it out of that liquidity pool that it doesn't sit there as buy support. So it's not quite the same as a central order book that you get on a centralized exchange. So that will that can actually just sit there and be legitimate liquidity sitting there at that range, which will stabilize the price a little bit as it moves through that.
Yeah, cool.
So who's adding the liquidity? Is the OA adding the liquidity, or is it some other people?
Who doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't. Yeah. Like all of this stuff is just for talk, man. It's literally irrelevant because it's program money. You guys got to wrap your heads around that.
Yeah. Hey.
Like I'm not God, but if I'm not talking about it, it probably doesn't matter.
Hey, this thing is like a true innovation. This thing is a true innovation, and that's why I love listening to Wales talking, and just your ability with the mathematics side of things is really good. But have a go at this thing. Like it is calculating. It's doing multiple calculations in real time, or all around the world. Everyone's at the same time. Like it's amazing. And then you get these guys going online and calling it garbage, when it's like this thing is like gets it right every time. Like all the numbers are right. So
just funny, right?
I mean, who invented this? I mean, like, come on, give credit where credit's due. Hex is doing everything right. It hasn't skipped a beat since the start. 100% uptime, triple audited, security. What's wrong? What's wrong with these people? They think it's garbage. I mean, come on. You don't have to be a Einstein or rocket scientist to figure that this thing works and have a look at it. And everyone that looks at it is got the speculative stickiness, and they're in and they're back for more, and you can't get away from it. Like it gets you. And once you're in and you're staked, you're in. So it's worth it. It really is. And we've seen a lot of outsized gains in Hex, haven't we? We don't. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's changing lives. It's making the world a better place. And I think I for one feel very privileged to be in this community, be part of this community, and all the great people and streamers, and just the experiences that we're having through this journey has been second to none. And I don't take anything for granted. We don't take any of this stuff for granted. So anyway, sorry to get a little bit sort of touchy-feely there, but what else we got?
Well, I think what you said is important, because that's what it's about. It's about the community, and that's why being decentralized is so important, so people understand that nobody here is taking orders from anybody else. We say and think what we want, and we act in accordance with what we believe. And just to answer that question on the screen, you're going to have to go back to my first ever video to learn why, because it's just math and code. Like, actual cryptography, cryptographic money is not what you see on CoinMarketCap. It's not what you see on Coinbase. It's not. There's a reason Hex is unscathed regardless of what they do. And by they, I mean those that make up fake rules that breach your, privacy, or breach your basic human rights, right? There's a reason we are always winning. And it's because that question right there can be proven. So you need to go watch my first video. It's going to take you 3 hours, maybe more, but you'll be all right. And you're going to be happy that you did. And you're welcome in advance. So go watch that first video if you really want to know why.
We've had quite a few rules change in Australia recently, a few laws made, a few things legislated in relation to privacy and surveillance, specifically the ability of law enforcement to access your devices and go into your devices and even make changes on your devices.
Frame you. Edit shit. Legally.
Yep, exactly. So
Really?
like, I've
That's
been
dodgy.
Tangent and I have been talking about this, things that you can do. I've been thinking about it. You definitely need to get your, like, if you're in Australia and you've got a device, you probably want to think about making sure that device is encrypted at rest, so that if anyone turns it on, like if they take your device, they can't just take the hard drive out and image that hard drive and just have all your data, access to all your data on that hard drive, because it's not difficult for someone to grab your hard drive and image it and do a forensic examination of it. It's not very difficult at all.
Congratulations, Tangent. That's a good milestone, mate. Well done.
Day 43, that's all you, brother. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Earlier, they smashed it. They smashed it,
man. You do it.
Your streams are awesome. Your streams are awesome stuff.
Great
mate.
channel. Yeah.
If you refresh that, 1K sub, boom, boom. Hell yes. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everyone that has subscribed. I promise.
Like you're doing like 5 or 6 streams a week, hey?
Yeah, I try to do at least a short one every day. Some days I can't, but yeah, something that's really helped me a lot is OBS has a stream timer, so it just cuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the stream off. In the early days, was my streams would just go for hours and hours and hours, and then I just couldn't do it every day because I knew it was just going to kill my day. With the stream timer, it just keeps me.
Thing.
Yeah,
I heard you say
it keeps that drive. Because, like you want to get stuff and when people are commenting, you want to get to that and you've got the time limit there. And even though it's a bit
you are right.
In the middle of something good, I think it's worth it because it just lifts the whole show a little bit because it gives you that kind of edge,
Puts a bit of pressure onto efficient.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So it means I can stream more often, and it means that the content's more efficient, and there's a bit of a rush. Yeah. And you have to prioritize. You have to prioritize what's going to be the most important thing to fit into that time. Yep. So I promise I won't let you guys down, new subscribers and old. Sick. Really stoked. Sorry, day 43, I interrupted you, but as soon as I saw that 1K thing that Dingo posted, I had to do the celebratory.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
You got there quick, dude. You got there pretty quick. You're only like a couple of hundred, like a few weeks back.
Get
on there and start pumping
he's got streams from years ago.
I think what day 43 is saying though is that it was it was slow going until recently, and then it just ramped up,
Hockey stick, eh?
Parabolic, slow at first and then can rocket.
Mr. Jackson,
day 43, you were talking about what you can do to protect yourself against these. Yeah, it's important, isn't it, to try to think of what you can do defensively.
Yeah. So having your data encrypted, I think that's you need to have that. I mean, they've got laws in Australia anyway where you're obliged to give your password, but what you do with your password is your business. So you can decide not to do that if you don't want to, and then just deal with the consequences. But at least whatever you have is encrypted and not accessible to anyone else. But yeah, that to me, that what's been going on in relation to that is pretty shocking. I'm shocked by it because I just don't trust like whoever would have access to it to change it. I just don't trust that, they're not going to do something that's against my interests.
They're selling your details, and then you're getting phone calls from, I don't know, overseas call centers and emails and all kinds of different things. That just because you had to you went into the service station to buy some pills or something, and you bloody, they had to give you a phone number, or you had to use a scan, so they got your identity, and then they used it they sold it to some mass marketing company, and all of a sudden
it's like you buy
phone calls and emails and that from them.
It's like then suddenly all your exes are calling you up, like, "Yo, hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
Hey, what are these famed gas station pills? Like, I just don't know for sure. I've just kind of like always thought something.
I don't think we've got them over here.
Don't be naive, Bluey. Don't be naive, Bluey. We're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about that. Hey,
what is it like Viagra?
We've got over 200 people watching this. Be responsible. Hey, Jexa. Jexa.
Yeah, mate.
Hey, I was watching the grand final on the weekend, and I noticed that there was CoinSpot posters everywhere around the grounds.
True. I didn't. Yeah. I've got to be honest. I'm not a massive football fan, so
yeah.
I was out on my jet ski while the grand final was on.
I didn't want you to. So you're having time off. You're having time off, and you're having a holiday, enjoying a bit of time away. Then
yeah. I did. I must admit, I've done a bit of a hex flex. So I brought a couple of toys. So I've just been enjoying those toys. So.
Hey, you got to do it. You got to.
Wait, I won't say what coin it is, but did you guys know that there's a shitcoin that is on one of the F1 cards? I was watching the Russian F1 and I was watching the F1 on Sunday, and there's one of the crypto projects is sponsoring one of the F1 cars, and I wasn't aware of it until I saw it.
So can you say which one, or you don't want to say, or
as in, do you guys mind me saying what coin it is? I typically try not to mention other coins.
Say it.
Tezos. It was on the front of, I think it's McLaren.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a lot more of that going on at the moment. Everyone seems to be sponsoring big events, and I think Hex.
You guys know why, right?
Do you guys see the Lambo?
Do you
guys see the Hex Lambo that they're going to turn into a race car?
Yeah. That's some.
No. Where's that?
Not here and not there.
But on Twitter, they just post pictures of it. It's still stock, so it's still like road legal. But they posted it saying that they are going to turn that Lambo. Their aim is to make it the fastest car, like fastest race car in the entire world. And it'll be a Hex Lamborghini race car.
Do you know who's doing it?
Is that something to do with Dustin? I don't know if he's...
I'll try and find the tweet while you guys keep chatting.
Could be Nardo.
It's just a group of race guys that are doing it or something like that. Yeah, it's a little high level. I think the people involved don't really want to be known, because we are now getting so the reason I said, do you guys know why, is because those coins, promise coins, they have to do that, right? They have no choice. They have to get the word out that they don't suck somehow, because they need to, right? Like, I think it's very important people understand that, because that's the difference between promise coins and a cryptocurrency, right? Everything else that you see again outside of Hex is not a cryptocurrency. I mean, I can't think of one that actually is, right? Wherever there is no middleman, no more interference, that's not a cryptocurrency. It's just not. Period. It's just not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's so refreshing. The Hex, everyone in the Hex community is so much more relaxed than some of those other communities, because of the fact that they're chopping and changing. They're trying to do these things, and I like one of your pie graphs where you've got the Hex market share fit, and then you've got everything else is goes in the rec box, doesn't it? That's quite. I don't like to, like. I mean, everyone. We all have good days and bad days. Okay, that's life. But like, sometimes if you're having a bad day and you look at the, you go into the Telegram and you look at the rect hex plebs, and you feel a lot better because you think, well, I'm not having such a bad day now. Is that sort of where you're going with that? Sorry, Wales, I didn't mean to. You know what I'm saying?
No. All good. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I love that channel. It's one of the best ones in Telegram. So the thing to realize, right, is that other coins or projects or whatever you want to call them, they have to do something to get their coin to go up. That's their pump-momentum, basically. They have no option but to do that. Because what else are they going to do to let people know that the price can go up if they don't buy? In Hex, that's not really a concern, right? The concern is people interacting with the system, and that once people learn how the system works, that's it. They're going to keep playing with it. They're going to keep buying. They're going to keep doing what they have to do because guess what? Math doesn't care. And once people figure out that this is real, it's game over. It's game over because that's the biggest. That's the biggest wall.
Is Victoria
Hex is the one thing?
Are you Australian?
I love that comment from Victoria.
Yeah, is she Aussie or is that?
No.
Johnny Wick. Come on.
Remember, she's in Eastern Bloc Europe.
Oh.
Remember, she's a ticket.
Oh, we met her on.
Right. Good on you then.
So can I ask a question? Because you guys live in Australia, why is everybody so damn docile over there? You guys are just as bad as Asians. Seriously,
Wow.
it's very bad. I mean, how do you just let random people say they can check their
Wales only. Did you see the video recently? The guy getting his face smashed into tiles at Flinders Street Station.
Yep. And did you see everybody else just standing around watching?
That's probably
not doing anything.
Yeah, but that's what happens. That's why people don't want to go into the city and.
Well, let me explain something to you. Power is in numbers. There is less of them than there are of you guys. That's a fact. Use math to your advantage.
Yeah. Hey, we can't all be lunchbox legends like you, Wales.
Into the ground.
Geniuses and that.
Hey, man, look, you either want freedom or you want to be told how to live. That's all I'll say.
Mate, I just ignore all those rules that everyone else. I do what I want.
I would say, hey, Wales, I'd say this. I'd say in the US, you guys have the Constitution on your side. We don't, like, our Constitution sucks compared to yours, man. You guys have some built-in freedoms, like, in your Constitution.
No,
we don't have a Bill of Rights.
The Constitution is not respected. It's never been respected since I've been alive, actually. Yeah, believe it or not, it's not respected.
But it gives what I believe that. But what it does, though,
I know what you mean.
So you guys have that. Right. Yeah, it gives you that feeling like, well, you can refer to that, like you can refer to that amendment, and you can like what we've got. We don't have that stuff. Like any rights that we had, like there was a freedom of speech. Like there's in our Constitution, I think it's like Section 18C. And that was amended a few years ago so that, if you offend someone, you can get in trouble for offending someone. So
how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? People are offended by the breeze.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. But someone got taken to court for it, and a precedent was set, and that's what I'm saying. Like in Australia, we've just got some ridiculous shit, man, in Australia.
What you guys got to realize is that the whole system is being manipulated just like they're trying to do over here. That's a fact. Because it makes zero sense, right? That makes zero sense whatsoever. How is it that somebody can go to court over offending somebody? That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And they tried that bullshit over here. They tried it. They definitely did. But the problem is that people here aren't playing that shit. That's the difference. It's not about rights. It's not about any of that. It's about temperament and assertiveness. And people seem to just be ready to just take whatever comes their way because they're not in charge. That's the wrong attitude to have.
Yep.
I totally agree with you. I think Australians as a whole have been complacent because we've and I've said this on streams before, we've had a pretty good life here. We do have a pretty good life here. And
past tense, sir.
Well,
definitely.
It's pretty. The world's it's pretty messed up. Some of the things that are going on at the moment, they're very, very concerning.
We acquiesce in Australia. We just sit back and let shit happen, and then once it happens, it's too late, and that's what's been going on the last year and a half.
Let's just keep this. Let's keep it all. Let's keep this all sort of hex-centric if we can, because otherwise we're going to we're gonna
chat's gonna get frothy, Chat's gonna get scribbled.
Frothy,
So what's the most crazy thing, the most crazy / exciting thing that each of you have seen relating to either Hex or Pulse in the last week or so?
Testnet coming. David Fetter said on our Saturday, 72 hours, just waiting for approval from Richard. Once he approves it, it's coming out. Don't you remember?
Really?
You must have been You were there. You were there on the stream.
Sorry.
Yeah. That was me.
So that was a stream where I was on with him on Cabanas. Yeah.
You hung around. Yeah, don't you remember?
No. I remember. I thought this might have been a renewed one later. Legit. I actually rewatched that stream the next day when I woke up to make sure I didn't say anything that was like real wild,
Yeah.
So I don't remember him saying it on stream, but I remember him saying it when I rewatched the stream that I was on.
Yeah. So he said 72 hours. So this week, some stage,
that's exciting.
Tuesday. I know the Americans Tuesday, nearly our Wednesday. So hopefully by the end of the week, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that.
Have you guys looked at the GitHub? Everything is done. It's just a matter of
I have been looking at it. Yeah,
everything is done. It's just a matter of them pressing the button and saying testnet is live, and that's it.
There's 7 outstanding issues, aren't there?
I'm talking about just the basic, just the infrastructure, what matters itself. What you're probably thinking about is just the tidying up.
Right.
But the crux of it is accomplished. It's done. It's just a matter of finalizing details and pushing it out, I think.
I was watching Hex News today, and I'm not sure if the guy's name is Hex Machine or Hex Machina.
I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, guy, and he was saying that he was saying that there are people still, loads of people still sacrificing. In the now, they are still sacrificing now. So hey,
you know what I was thinking of doing? I was thinking of just doing like $50 from a whole lot of different accounts, or just a small amount from a whole lot of different addresses, because if there's any airdrop from that set, could be a nice little.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should have done that a few weeks ago. But
that's why I'm saying just put a little bit in, especially if you've already sacrificed a lot.
Yeah. So someone just put in chat what's testnet. So we probably should explain a few of those things for people that are new to the space. So alongside Ethereum, what we call mainnet. So when you use Ethereum, you're running Ethereum mainnet, and that's where all the action happens, all of the live stuff. But what you can also do is you can jump to one of a few different what we call test nets, and they're sort of playgrounds or sandboxes where you can have coins that are worthless, so they're free. You go to what we call a I've lost the terminology for it, a faucet, so you can get some free you can get some free coins from what we call a faucet, so just a small amount of pretend Ethereum that you can play on the Ethereum test nets. And that's just so you can, if you're a developer and you're testing your application, or you can be an individual and you just want to play around a little bit on the test net. So with Pulse, we will have a PulseChain test net, and that will be so we can just run up the network and run it through its paces, see if there's any issues, break it if we can. Guys that are developers that have sites currently on Ethereum that they want to port across onto PulseChain, that will be their chance to test their applications in this sandboxed environment before it launches and becomes PulseChain mainnet. So it's really just a testing ground prior to main launch. But it's pretty important because that's really a proof that the network's up and live and doing what it should do, and you're setting it into the wild so people can play around on it. And that's when you'll find issues, is when you let the users on it. Users have a way of breaking things, doing correct things, and also doing weird things that you just wouldn't expect a user to do. So that's the point of the testnet, is just to put it through its paces.
What? RH washed his underwear. What's that all about? Didn't see that.
Yeah, didn't you see those tweets?
What's going on there?
He did his whole wash.
Really.
Richard just handing out life lessons. He's like, never pay more to get your underwear cleaned than it would cost you to just buy new underwear. So he was washing his own underwear in a freaking bathtub. And then people were like, oh, how are you going to dry it? So he showed a picture of him on, in Europe, how they've got those bar heaters that, the way they heat the rooms in Europe is they run hot water through pipes. They've got like these water pipe
radiators.
And so he had all his underwear hanging on the different levels of those bars of the heaters. So funny.
Has he got Louis Vuitton underwear, has he?
I mean, yeah, like it's branded underwear. So the fact that it was obviously that hotel must charge a lot to do dry cleaning if
that's it.
If it's more than
fair enough too.
It's a lot of effort.
He's had a lot of good life lessons for Richard Hardy. He's given out some brilliant life hacks. A lot of the Hexicans and all of the Hexicans will be indebted to Richard Hart for a long time, myself included. I love the bloke.
I love him too.
I need to read more of his. I need to make time for that.
I love him more than you, Rex.
Who's this fourth moon dude? Is this fourth moon in the chat? Who you trolling, mate? Are you trolling
Fourth
us?
moon.
Yeah,
where is?
No, he's talking about the farting, man. Every now and then sounds like someone's farting.
It's not me. I've got one
mate.
chair that does squeak and makes sounds that sound like that, but I'm not on it.
I don't fart.
Fourth moon's been having it.
I
like a good trolling. I don't mind being trolled. We have fun. We have fun with it. But I've sort of
badass. Unwrecked would be like the most badass. He's like Crocodile Dundee of the group. Look at that. Now that's a knife.
These are the best knives in the world, these things. It's like a Thor full Caven, full kniving.
Yeah, you know how people keep saying that we gave up our
really
guns?
nice,
It's because
really
we can do as much with a big knife.
Yeah, mate.
Hey, who else?
Bring your little pop guns over here, mate. We'll sort you out.
Enough of you farting, Unreg Pirate. What about everyone else? What else have you guys done Hex this week?
Yeah, did anyone else have anything to add?
Well, the doco. I mean, guys, that doco, if it comes off and it's like a half as good as what it looks like it will be, that's really seminal kind of like, and it depends on what kind of distribution they can get for it. But that's kind of like Wired article. That's like, even better than that. You know what I mean? Like New York Times best-selling book, like that kind of doco, especially if they get on Netflix or some shit like that, man. That will be a virality moment. Yeah.
Agreed.
Totally.
So let's talk about virality because people don't seem to understand what that means for Hex.
No, I don't either.
Let me help everybody out. Just look back at April 2020 and May 2020 and what happened after. Virality or not, it doesn't matter because time and code do not care. Like, take a look at the chart. If you look at the chart, you see a big hump from March to May. But then when you look at
What's
the
so
rest of the
funny?
chart,
What's so funny? Day 43.
It was another
Sorry,
fart.
sorry to interrupt you,
It
Wales.
was
Sorry to
so
interrupt you,
well
mate.
timed. It was
yo,
like
I don't hear these farts you guys are
I
talking
can't
about.
hear it
I don't
either.
hear
I
him
can't hear
either.
what are you talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you-
Wales made this really beautiful point, and then there's the
Sorry, I
timing.
know. Sorry, Wales. Oh, look, come
It's
on.
okay.
Oh, guys!
man.
It's not.
Oh, man.
It's not farts.
Wales is giving the knowledge out. Come on.
It's the lag of the stream is doing it to our voices. It's like doing like sometimes it's like sort of. It's a lag thing.
It's Unrex's headset. He was.
I can't hear what they're talking about. That's not farts. It's the stream is lagging out, and it's kind of making like
I'm going to get blamed.
glitched out sound.
It's
I
your
don't even
headset.
hear it. I don't even
It
hear it.
doesn't sound like a glitched out
It's
speed.
like your Bluetooth or something from your headset, Unrect. It was doing it when we were talking before.
Oh,
the stream.
right.
Well, someone's just slowly leaking.
I don't think it was just unwrecked. I've heard it when other people have been talking as well.
I had it on mute. I was on mute. I muted mine when someone complained about it. I went on mute, and then someone said that this was going.
Day 23.
Hey, come on now.
So what were the
Community
dates you were
service.
saying, Wales? It was May. May 20th?
I'm talking about when April. I think it was April 20th when that big pump came in. Whenever that big pump came in, it made Hex go like 77x, right? And then it just went sideways for a long time. People need to understand that's what virality means for Hex, right? That's what it means typically for any market, unless there's just constant buying. It's gonna go up, sure, but then it's gonna stop, and then it's just gonna go sideways for months on end. That's what virality means here, because this is strictly math and code. Very important to comprehend, because virality is, it's math. Everything that we're talking about here is math. So people want virality, but they don't actually understand what they're saying. And the reason they don't understand is because they think this is a stock market. This is not a stock market. People need to really let that one go, like seriously, because you're gonna this is why people keep selling Hex, thinking that it's it. If you're gonna sell Hex, that's fine, but you have to understand that once you sell, you lost that position. You can't. It's almost impossible to regain it. There's a reason for that. It's not because it's cute. It's because math, right? Math doesn't care.
That's right.
People really need to understand that. It's important. It's important.
So, Wales, we've been hearing a lot of this pre-viral, this and that, and you explain that it's only a matter of time. It's a formality, more or less. Is that the point that you're making, that this code, this immutable code, this Hex smart contract is going to do what it's going to do anyway, regardless of any of us, and it's only and virality. When we say
it needs
virality,
people. It needs people.
That's like everyone on the mainstream hearing about it. People don't even hear about this. They're only hearing about this stuff for the first time. And there's probably an offshoot to this music video that Freddie Quotes, our guest from last week, he's putting out against the Furus. Stopping people getting wrecked, hurting the whole community because they could have invested in Hex. They didn't hear about it because these idiots were telling them about some promise coin, garbage. So see how things all connect.
100%.
Yeah.
And to Blue Bun's point, of course you need people, but my point is you don't need the world, because it's going to do whatever it's going to do regardless, because the system is being used.
I think the best way to look at virality is look at Hex Daily stats and just look at the constant increase of number of Hex holders, number
That's
of
not what
Hex
people are talking
takers.
about when they're talking virality, though. That's the thing. People are talking about from $1 to $10, then to 10 to 50, like in short order. That's what virality means.
The network effect, yeah. Huh?
No, not so much the network effect. Not the network effect. The velocity in which something can appreciate. No. Virality is when something goes from 0 to 100 because everybody is now aware of it.
Yeah,
like movies and crap like that, or videos that go viral. That's virality, when things go out of the normal sense of growth.
Yeah.
Because we have normal growth.
I'd argue that there are different paces of virality. Like some things might take years to become viral. Other things might take a few months. And I think with Hex, we're going to see it in waves. Like we've already seen, like these big waves come and everyone's all excited and jumping on it, and then there's those dips, and then at the moment in the last couple of weeks, it's just gone sideways a bit. But what that means is there's this beautiful kind of upwards pressure of buying and downwards pressure of selling, just equalizing it all out so that it just goes sideways for a time, hey? And so I guess virality has X's to it as well. Like there's full-on virality and there's just slow, constant virality. That's what I'd argue.
Well, I don't call that virality, because virality has a very specific connotation to it. It means explosive growth. It doesn't just mean things that go up and to the right. That's just something that goes up and to the right. That's just monotonic movement.
So,
meaning that's just what it does. No, go
so
ahead.
Wales. So what you're saying, Wales, is we're seeing consistent growth, but we're not seeing virality. Is that the point you're making?
Yeah, basically. Because Blue Bum is trying to say that there's different levels, and you can look at it that way. But when you look at the definition of the word, there is no different level. It's something is either viral or it's not. So constant growth is one thing. Virality is another. Virality is when a video comes out of nowhere from somebody you don't know, and you've seen it, and it's from somebody in Alaska. None of you guys are in Alaska. So how'd you see that video?
A really good point. That's a really good point. I'm glad you actually redefined that for me, because I was kind of thinking of it. I think we've been using the word virality with what we've been actually meaning is adoption. And virality, you're right. Virality was like that Coney 2012 shit, where it was like suddenly the entire world knew about this Coney. You guys remember Coney 2012?
What's that? I've never heard of it.
You guys too young for that shit? Wales, you know what I'm talking about, right? You remember Coney?
Here's a present day analogy. That's
it went
CNBC.
Boom. It just went one day, like literally one day, no one knew. The next day, everyone knew Coney 2012. It was like just.
Well, hang on, what's 2012?
It happened in 2012.
But what was that?
It was a marketing campaign for a warlord.
Coney?
You guys don't remember that for real?
You guys for real remember that?
You'll have to Google it, mate.
K-O-N-E. Google it.
K-O-N-E 2012. You guys do it in your own time.
All right.
Sorry, Wales. Continue, man.
No. You're good, man, because it's funny, because it's true. And here's a present day, or not present day, but a good, at least contemporary analogy. It's like XRP. Nobody knew XRP until CNBC talked about it. That's what made it viral. Right? What made crypto viral. People think it's viral, but it's really not. Bitcoin has gone somewhat viral, but not really. It's only a $2 trillion market cap. So is that really viral? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say Bitcoin viral in awareness, but not adoption.
Correct. So it's about understanding what you're trying to relay, because things get confused by people, right? And this is why using the correct words is so critical, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, right? And we see it all the time. I mean, look at everything that they say about X. That's just one example of the many.
I just Googled Coney 2012, man, and already I'm doubtful that was natural virality.
Well, none of it ever is, bro. That's
it went viral.
Well, Richard Hart said that there's nothing compares to a cryptocurrency FOMO rally. And I don't know about you. I wasn't around. I haven't been around to see one, so I'm just hanging tough till that happens, because I reckon that's going to be awesome. Not parabolic, No,
but that's the thing. If it happens, it's going to happen. There's no controlling it. My point is that you got to be careful what you wish for, because you might get something you don't want, which is a bunch of sideways.
The blow off top. Yeah, the blow off top.
Not so much a blow off top, but you're going to get a lot of sideways movement after that, which is what we saw for the majority of 2020 after May.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? It just went sideways for until Big Payday.
Yeah.
It literally went sideways until Big Payday. Then after Big Payday is when it started continuing its ascent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right.
So be careful what you wish for. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, no, I don't wish for anything. I was just relaying.
No, not you, not you. Just speaking in general, man. My point is aiming at anybody. Just speaking in general.
But you can get the network effect kicking in without the virality.
Yeah, the network effect is already live. You can see it.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the growth in holders or growth in stakers, that's a network effect. That's adoption.
Yeah. And that's because that's definitely what you're saying, and that will magnify anyway, because that's the very nature of how that network effect works. Is one person speaks to two people, those two people speak to two more people, and
you get that. So that can be exponential adoption without being viral.
Okay, Whale. So I don't know how this works, because you talk about moving in a log 2. So how does exponential growth relate to price moving in log 2? Does that make sense, or is that a thing?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. So when you think about what's happening as far as what price is doing, when we think about log base 2, log base 2 is its natural functionality. Okay. So what happens is that when you skip levels, price has to be allowed to do its, or I'm sorry, not price. Time has to be allowed to do its thing to get price in accordance with what the math is saying. So when you look at the price chart for Hex, and you look at what happened from, let me look, because I know I got the chart open here, from March 2020 through the top in early May 2020, you literally saw nothing happen, right? Almost. It was pretty much flat until after Big Payday, when it hit that most recent, or hit that peak, right, on February 1st, like right around the end of February. That bottom was that peak of that May top, right? Interesting. Yeah. So this is what log base 2 does. It keeps things in order no matter what, because time is a function of what's happening with respect to exponentiality, right? Because exponentiality is the inverse of logarithmic, of the log. This is why when we're looking at log base 2, what we're really doing is finding out how many times something is doubled based on the rate of change over time. That's what happens when you're looking at the power values of 2 to the n, and you take the log of that power value being n, you get how many times something is doubled. That's what's actually, and I know this is a lot of math talk, but people ask, so I'm explaining, but that's what's happening. It's just when something speeds up and it's not taking its natural progression, time has to be allowed to do that work that's been skipped.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing right now. The only thing that changes that is the market structure over time, and that's a function of actual market activity. It's not a function of what the system is doing. That's a function of people understanding that this is what's happening now, so they have to act in accordance with it, right? That's kind of like that's why we were partying for Big Payday dump, because we knew while everybody else is selling like morons.
Yeah.
81 billion hex were minted on Big Payday. 81 billion hex exited the market, or exited into the market and became liquid.
Okay.
So this is why we went sideways.
Billion. There was 183 billion hex.
I'm talking about actually hit the market, not what Big Payday was.
A lot. Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah.
Correct. I mean, this is why we went sideways for so long, and nothing really happened until February, March, April of 2021. Like, that's when we saw things actually start happening, because time had to catch up with what price has done already.
Yeah, we had to go. Had to let those people dump, especially all the free claimers. Hey, there was a ton of them in there. And they would just dump them, basically.
Well, all that stuff. Yeah. All that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but hey, look, we're seeing scarcity now, isn't it? It's like
log base 2 means the formula for that. That's just doublings, is it? So it's like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, etc. And so what's a log base 3?
It's going to be the same thing, 3 to the n.
So 3 times. So 3, 6. So what does that mean? It's 3, 9, 27?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And the thing to understand is that the longer the base, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the slower the rate of growth. This is why Ethereum is log base 10. When you look at my the age comparison chart, I put those trend lines on there for a reason. Like if you go to my site and you go to the chart, like wellsonly.com/charts, and you go to that first chart showing price action, you're gonna see the difference in the trend lines between Ethereum and Hex, and those are just the velocity, right? That's dictating how fast something is going to move. That's why you see, because think about it. How much harder is it for something to 10x than it is to 2x?
Obviously.
Significantly. Yeah, significantly harder. That's all it is.
Sorry, mate. What was your website again?
Well, I'll put it in the chat.
I'll
put it in the chat so you guys can put it, because I don't think I'll be able to. Wells only.
Yep.
The other thing I really like on your site, Wales, are those correlation coefficients against Bitcoin and ETH. They're tight.
Hard to refute the math, and that's why I keep it there. It's easy to talk, but it's not easy to relay the right information. And that's why I try to stick to math.
That's the best thing about it. I mean, your facts. It's just pure facts, and that's the thing. You're not basing an opinion around anything. It's basically you're presenting the facts first, and then you're coming up with a hypothesis. You're not coming up with a hypothesis and then trying to, jerry-rig the numbers so that they look like this is going to happen. Or that.
No, we can't do that here. Imagine that.
So a lot of what Wales uses math to explain is really what we see and feel on a day-to-day basis.
Correct.
Being part of Hex. So when we see the floor is lava maps, and you see that everything else is red and Hex is sitting there green, that's all those correlation numbers that Wales has put into a chart. We see and we feel that we see our funds, and likewise when sometimes Bitcoin goes on a rally and Hex doesn't follow suit because it's doing its own thing, and that's a beautiful thing. And when the broader part of crypto wake up and understand what Hex is and how it does that, when we have a bear market hit, the people that are smart enough to figure that out will do very, very well over what traditionally is a pretty crap time to be in crypto when prices start tanking. And that'll come because inevitably that long drawn out bear market will come, and the people that figure out what Hex can do for them could mean a wave of existing crypto users move across into Hex for that safety play, which they haven't had to worry about that yet, because
we've seen 70% dips, haven't we? So
we've seen them act in accordance with that. Jexa is right. We've seen them do that already, just to small moves, basically, right? Because the waves have kind of been slow, like the one we saw in May, in between March, May of this past year, when the bear market took hold in April. A lot of people found Hex after that. So you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
So the people that can get over their biases, and when they just keep seeing Hex go up and they're sitting there in amazement, if they can get over their biases against it, they'll do really well. The people that are just can't work through that, they're going to feel the pain of the bear market.
Oh, that's it. And you've got to account for that volatility in crypto. It's a feature, not a disadvantage. It's you want to be late. You want to be late to the right party if it's late, but it's still early days anyway. And there's always a value proposition in Hex. There's always meat on the bone for the new guys coming in, and you just got to get on board. And you'll find that the community are very, very helpful. But you'd rather get to the party late than show up at the Blue Oyster Bar. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that really hooked me with Hex, was that I was just imagining someone coming to it, finding out about it like 5 years down the track. And I thought, wow, it's still a value proposition, because they're taking whatever money they have, turning them into shares and getting more shares as they stake it out. So, yes, the earlier people will do better, but it's still a great value proposition for anyone coming in at any time. And we don't even know what the future behavior of Hex will be. It might be that the second 15 years, years 15 to 30 might be more massive increases than years 1 to 15. We have no idea.
Run that by me again. Say that again. The years.
Well, let's say from year 1 to 15, right, is going to get a certain amount of increase in terms of price and how much interest you can get. But then if you measure it from year 15, making those Quattro Cinco stakes for that 15 to 30 year kind of period, it might end up being that they make more. Those shares make more money because so much is dependent on, like, maybe not, like probably not. Probably like the first 15 will be more of an increase. Yeah, probably. But we don't know for sure because it's all about human behavior and incentives. And like, if you get, like, let's say after 15 years we have 10 million people who are hexagons, but then from the 15 to 30 year period it could be like 1 billion. And if that's the case, then it will like easily kill all of the gains of that first 15 years potentially.
I've looked at this already. Actually, I've thought about this, and I'll just say this real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No, that's cool.
The fact of the matter is that actually isn't true here, and I'll tell you why. It's simply based on the design of the coin itself and how it's designed to work in accordance with that. Have you guys heard of bonding curve design tokens? Okay, so think of it like this. This is how Hex actually works at a very high level, and there's no refuting this because this is what we already know. It's just a matter of realizing that this is what's happening. Now, picture a vertical rectangle. Okay, the length is taller than the width. This is Hex at a very base level. Now, cut that rectangle diagonally up and to the right. That's what the T-share rate is doing. Right? We know this, right?
Yep.
I need a confirmation.
Sorry. So just I don't quite get the analogy.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
That's fine. That's why I want to ask, because I want to make sure people understand.
No, absolutely,
so
100%.
We can even call it a square, right? Cut a square diagonally across, right? From
Totally
bottom left to upper right. That's what the T-share rate is doing over time.
Yes, it
and
is.
The price does what? Follows that.
Yes.
So
yes.
The fact of the matter is whether you got M shares, B shares, T shares, C shares, K shares, doesn't matter. You actually just need shares, and you need to sit your ass down and wait. That's it.
That's what I've been saying to a lot of people now. Is just like, hey, come into Hex, you got to do your time. I actually got that from Motley. I heard him say it, and then I thought, oh, that's a good one. I'll use that. Yeah, that's right.
Just has to do their time.
You got to do your time. Yeah.
And I think that's what people sit there and they go, oh, all the OGs, they're killing it. And am I too late? Am I going to miss out? But what they don't understand is all the people that are doing well now have been in this for nearly 2 years already. So they've had to buy their time. They've gone through some, like Wales mentioned, there was a period where the rest of the market was rocketing up and Hex was going sideways. And that was hard to watch. So anyone that sat in Hex and watched that was sitting there going, man, this is like, I'm watching DOT and all the other promise coins and all the other Ethereum killers just pumping hard, like really hard. And Hex didn't do that because it does its own thing. And then when everything else started to slow down, Hex just kept chugging along and doing its own thing. So it's, like you say, it's being in there that amount of time to realize that. And guys that have joined, so they're not, depends what you call OGs, and we've had a bit of this banter already on Twitter, but guys that have come along later, and I'm saying a year later to now, they're still doing really, really well because they've put that time in as well. And the guys that have joined a few months ago, they've already seen some good gains. But even if you brought the recent top, I think over the next few weeks, even those guys are going to be looking pretty good. So
you don't have to wait too long. We've never had to wait that long, hey?
Wales, how long do you have to wait?
He's just got, he'll be right back. He said to go. It's about 28 days, according from memory.
47 days on average to get a doubling. Now, that doesn't mean every 47 days it's going to double. That's an average.
Yep.
That long drawn-out period where we didn't get a double in that period was, I think, about 170 odd days.
About nearly 6 months.
Yeah, so that was a hard period to go through, but now but there was a lot of fundamental things going on. So there was a big payday. There's a whole raft of things that happened, which we're past. They were launch mechanics. They're all done. So now we can just move into Hex doing what it's designed to do. And that's when we've started to see more consistent growth and seeing that that curve really start to go up and to the right. And yeah, like the people that have come in recently haven't had to wait that 170 odd days to see performance. The system's performing as it should now because we're out of that launch phase. The launch phase is just hyperinflation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we haven't had 1 year of no massive amounts of Hex coming onto the market.
Hey, can I just address this this comment here? Tangent said OG is someone who's been here for half the life of Hex. I would go, you know what, I'd go as far as saying that if you're here before the fork, you're an OG. You're an OG. For
sure.
There'll be another event where you'll be able to say something.
You're right.
This is actually an annoying topic. Yeah, you want to know why? Because how many Bitcoin OGs does anybody know? 0. OG is irrelevant. What's relevant is how long you're actually holding. So people need to let that whole notion of OG go. It's irrelevant, actually.
Yeah.
If you weren't around day one, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
Question is, do you understand what you're doing and are you making money?
Yeah.
That's the fucking
They
question.
laugh at you around here when you say that, because I said that once because I was watching Discourse Syndicate and I'd never heard that word, OG thing. And I said it to some Australians and they're like, oh, what is this over you from the hood, mate, or something. So anyway, it was so I don't use it. I know Dave's in his handle, but that's
going back, right? That's going back to early days, so that's fine, right? I think it just becomes topical now because now you got all these new people that don't know anything. They're just being kids and childish and trying to. I mean, we've had a lot of fake people try to enter the community, right? Trying to basically lie about their status, and that's the only reason it's even become topical because nobody actually cared until all these new people showed up into the community, right?
Okay. Well,
so
look, it's a broad church. You're right. I mean, it's what is it? Clout chasing, we call it. We don't do that. We don't do that here. We just have open, honest conversations about the Hex crypto because we love Hex. So I really like it, and I know, and I can remember just to make a point on what we're talking about here. I can remember thinking I did have a concern looking into the future, going, okay, well, that's all great for everyone here now that's buying Hex and staking it. What's going to happen in the future? And like Richard Hart and some of the other smart people in the community explain how, Richard Hart explains it really well about, he uses a number of analogies to explain how the value proposition and how there's meat on the bone for the new guys and that are getting in afterwards and things like that. It's not like that culture, that subculture within crypto of like sort of getting in early and dumping on the new guys' heads. We don't have that here. We have incentivized smart contract, rewarding good behavior, rewarding you do what you say you're going to do. You meant your rewards at the end of your stake. If you don't, it's carrot stick basically, isn't it? So yeah. Anyway, but we don't. I just continue. That's all. Yeah. That's all I'll say to that one.
It's actually it is worth talking about because, and someone just said it in chat. It makes people feel inadequate when they come along and they're hearing always talk about OGs and dick swinging going on from people.
But that's the thing about OGs. The definition that I've adopted there is that.
But why do you need it?
You can always become an OG later relative to the. So it's a relative term. So that someone that's coming into Hex now, it's not a defined moment in time that then means that new people are like, oh man, I'm never going to be an OG. I'm so sad. If once they've done their time, then they will become an OG. However, the later you come into the project, the harder it is because obviously that's when the adoption level's higher as well, and you have to have the
I've got a
same
better one.
stay in the project.
You know,
So,
I've got a better one, Tangent. I'm a Hex hornswoggler. I've been here since swoggling horns. Hey? and day 43, he's a rug muncher. He's a rug
That one I know.
muncher.
I
He
guess
loves the rug munch. He loves the rug on. He loves to eat the munch. He likes a bit of munch. He likes a bit of carpet munching. Don't you?
I guess the thing is, it's like it's not a defined term, right? Like that's the definition that I've personally adopted for OG, and so no one has to use that same term, but it's
you got to watch a Tangent. If someone thinks they're an OG and you say nah, you're not an OG, they can take you to court.
That's funny.
Someone might identify as being an OG. You can shortcut it just by identifying as an OG. That's
I identify as an OG. So I found out about it yesterday.
There's one now you can identify as a liquid age person. So I might be 40 something, but I identify as a 16-year-old. Yeah, or a 5-year-old.
I could definitely get onto that. I could definitely get around that.
Yeah, well, just be careful that
because,
you don't get labelled a pervert.
Well, that's the thing. If you try to pick up someone who looks like they're 40 but identifies as 13, do you get done for?
This is legit. This is society. Like, how messed up is it? Like, what a bloody bunch of snowflakes. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I'm going to go undercover. I'm going to go and see if I can fucking...
But, to all those people who are just kind of coming into Hex recently, like I felt the same way. I only found out about it after 6 months after everyone else had found out about it. And I thought, oh, fuck, I'm late. But then you just spend time, and all of a sudden, water passes, and the price goes up, and all of a sudden, there's other new people coming in and just finding out about it, and they're pissed off because they don't feel like they feel like they missed out and they were gate kept and all that kind of stuff, And so it's just time, isn't it?
I've never had that thought, and I'm a day 330 person. I think people just need to recalibrate what's going on in their head. Honestly, it's so irrelevant. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if people thought that in Bitcoin in 2012. I mean, they feel really stupid right now, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I think people just need to recalibrate their thinking and understand what's going on.
I agree with you, Wales. I don't think it's something that's actually important. However, if people are going to be throwing the term around, which it's inevitable that people are going to be throwing the term around. It's part of crypto culture.
I agree with you there. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's become part of it.
But also it becomes a thing because of the gatekeeping. And so they have someone to blame.
Well, I guess that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Because a lot of people are going to get mad when they find out about Hex and they realize that they just were being hidden. It was being hidden from them.
Absolutely.
And that's
they're already upset. They're already upset.
Well, you would be. And that's why we try to put the grassroots out and the just basically get the word out, to put the message in a bottle to try and break through this I don't know, whatever it is, it's just fabricated or barriers that we had. I mean, and that's so. I mean, like Wales only, mate. To your credit, to be highly commended with your efforts and just your diligence and your work ethic that we've seen with your streaming and your charts and your mathematics is, you're an asset to the whole community, and it's much appreciated by everyone. The stuff that you put out, and I've got a pretty good detector for that type of thing, and you play a straight bat. And we all make mistakes, and if I make them all the time. I'll put my hand up and say, yeah, I got that bit wrong, or I didn't understand that part of the code or whatever. But like, that's how we learn. So,
correct.
But yeah, mate, just man, it's keep doing what you're doing.
I mean,
keep showing up.
Yeah, I agree with Tangent's definition, though. I mean, it's all about how long you're in the game. It's not about when you join the game or the team or however you want to look at it. It's really about how long you're in it. Because
about the juicy amount of gains, mate. It's about the gains.
But you know what it's more also about? instilling hope in people, instilling
100%.
hope about the future and being able to plan for things and to make, like your way in the world, because you know you've got this, you can build towards something, hey?
100%.
To know you're making a good financial choice.
Correct. I mean, that's hard for people, right? I think that's hard for people. I don't think that's easy for people. That's why you got financial advisors and all this nonsense,
Yeah,
right?
man. With the game the way it is, it's really hard.
It's very
Yeah,
hard.
Game's all fucked up, man.
That's kind of what prompted me to take action, all these years ago and start learning myself. I realized you couldn't really depend on others. You really cannot.
Yeah, you have to cut away all those vines of misinformation and lies and work out what's really going on, hey? It's like, it's just covered in this obfuscating kind of language and terminology, that, what is that, like, which has ambiguities in it and stuff like that. And it's like, there's so much crap around finances, and it's actually just really
100%. 100%. It's funny because if I would have never, and somebody asked in the chat if I have investment or whatever experience, and yeah, I've been on Wall Street for 10 plus years, so I got plenty of it, and this is why I know exactly what to do. You can only get burned but so many times, right? At least I like to think that. Some people don't think that, but I like to think you can only get burned but so many times.
It's easy to lose money.
Very easy.
Let's be real.
Very easy.
It's a lot easier to
That's
lose
why
money
you have to
than
learn
make
how to
money.
lose.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's why you have to learn how to lose. Learning how to lose is step number one in any market. And this is why Hex is so easy for those that understand that. Because it's a no-brainer once you figure it out. No-brainer, because what Hex does is it doesn't allow you to lose.
Yeah,
that's what staking is for.
Princess HNW's got it right on. It's like, it's not about when you find out about it. It's how quickly can you comprehend the potential and then act on that.
That's a fact. It took me 30 minutes. Literally took me 30 minutes. It took me a while to figure out staking, but I figured out that the coin was worth buying within 30 minutes. So 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Did you say you got in at day 3?
You've been a bit quiet tonight, mate.
Did you say you got in at day 300, Wales? When did you get in?
I think he said day 3.
Day 330. I wish.
330.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't consider myself an OG at all. You never heard me call myself an OG. Shit's irrelevant, bro.
It's a title. It's trumped up title. Hey, I got a trumped up title for you. I got a trumped up title for you.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh no, we call them sheep. We call them sheep daggers over here. Look, it's the bloke who has to go and cut all the hair. The bloke has to go to cut all the fluff from around the sheep's bum so it doesn't get disease.
It does the mulesing. It doesn't.
That's it.
It's called mulesing.
Hey,
right.
That's nothing wrong with that.
Now I'll say this: if you've been around, long as hell, well, shit. If you've been holding for more than a year, right, year and a half, Hex is only 21 months old. You're an OG, right? By definition, original, right? Original is someone who breaks away from the mold, right? Someone who doesn't fit the mold, that it stands out. That's original. Right, so
well, that means that's every Hexican then, every person here, because
there you go.
Everyone
Hey, Freddie Quotes has got a new song coming out this week.
On Friday or something, hey? Or Saturday?
What do you reckon? Oh, we're gonna
Saturday for you guys.
Slap some haters. Hey, we're gonna give it to them. So that's good news. They deserve it, actually. Normally I've been a little bit sort of reserved and conservative about that type of thing, and don't sort of stick my hand into the ring and get involved in any of that stuff, because it's a waste of time. It's waste of positive energy. So in this case, I think that it's called for. I think it's just a bit of fun, and I really hope that that's going to smash the lights out, that song. And you boys were talking to Freddie last week. I was spewing that I missed that. But yeah. Well, what do you reckon?
Last week, Unwrecked, we had Emma Tarrant as the Oracle, the Hex Late Show Oracle of the Week.
Oh, we've got to do that, because I was saying we're coming up to time. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Who's won this week? I was far off.
Sorry, Dave 43's given us the trigger.
Oh,
all right.
I've just got to find it, mate. Just 1 second.
The spreadsheet. What happened to Jexa? Jexa's dropped off the stream.
He had to run.
He's gone back to his
go, mate.
Gone back to his jet skis and swimming and good times.
Yeah, just
I will be the oracle, mate. Says the Mango Junkie.
I haven't got the
you haven't got it.
I haven't got the spreadsheet. I've just got the link to make a guess for next week. So we might have to do who's the oracle for this week and next week. We'll have to do it next week. But what I'll do is I'll post the link in the chat here.
Hang on, I'll see if I can. He posted it. Oh no, he pinned it, didn't he? Yeah, here it is.
He pinned the form.
Yeah, that's for the sheet.
There's the form, but I think above that, maybe.
So we're doing Wales, just to bring you up to speed. We just do a price prediction every week, and then we put it into a spreadsheet and see who gets the closest. And then,
what you just do is you just click responses. So I've got it up here. Actually, should I share my thing? Oh no, hang on.
I'll pull them out my backside and I'll get them right most of the time.
What is the price right now? Let's have a look.
I'm not sure how to do this.
We are 0.428.
428. Look at that.
Well, okay. So I've got it here. What is it? 0.428.
We are 0.428 right now.
Okay. Well, it's not giving me. Like you can look at the responses, but it's giving me the list of people, and then it's got another list of the prices. So,
where is that link? Can you?
Yeah, if you yeah,
you can win a gun. Fourth Moon just spamming up the chat with the with this gun thing. But anyway, I'm going to ignore that. I ignore most things. I'm good at that.
Hey, there's a whole lot of people responding. Everyone's chucking in their responses now.
Did you guys see this NFL star has got Hex in their Twitter tag, in their Twitter bio? Wales, you might know this guy for being American. Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes has.
Does that name mean anything to you? His his uniform's red and white.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs he's an important football player here, so to speak, just because of how he broke into the league. I had no idea. I don't, it doesn't really matter. But there's another guy too that owns Hex in the NFL. Some Baltimore Raven guy. I don't know, bro. I don't keep up with sports. It's irrelevant.
Hell yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That falls under what you were saying earlier. That it's like this sort of stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, the whole point about why sports doesn't matter is because look at what they do with it. They try to just keep people, entertained while they do what they want.
Oh,
that's what sports is about.
We'll make their own line of NFTs.
Nothing to do with the unsportsmanlike conduct of the America's Cup. In the America's Cup, there's no really nice guys over there in that competition, is there? They're all very very driven, ruthless.
So it's somebody
winning
else.
Winning is everything.
It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's some other guy, Jay Hill on the Ravens. I don't know his first name. Again, I don't really follow football anymore. I don't follow sports anymore. But here's the thing, guys. The world is waking up to the fact that dealing in fiat is a problem. The question is, when will the rest of you catch up? Right? That's the actual question. It's only a matter of time before everybody wakes up to what's going on. This is why time is of the essence. They can't stop what's happening. Like, this is the biggest problem that people just can't wrap their head around. And this is why I speak mathematically and not in an opinionated fashion. Look at what's happened since 2010. What have they stopped? What has actually been illegal? Nothing. It's simple. It's that simple. So, just take it as it comes, ignore the headlines, and use the headlines for entertainment and connecting dots and trying to understand what the bigger picture is, because headlines are really irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Sorry, guys. I misread this. I just need to clarify. The person was using the fact that Justice Hill had it to try and shill it to that guy, to Patrick Mahomes. So it's not, I had the wrong guy. It was a shill attempt to shill towards other NFL players using the guy who does have it, which is the one that Wales said, Justice Hill.
Yeah, what Wales said about it, the innovation of the blockchain and just the peer-to-peer currency exchange like that is an innovation that should be recognised, and it is, that's where it's going. That's where this is going. So you're right, Wales, on that point for sure. Would agree.
When you got NFL players figuring it out, I think it's time for everybody else to catch on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And nothing against NFL players, but I used to play football. I used to play sports. I know what I'm saying. Like, I spent my whole first part of my life dedicated to playing sports and nothing else. Like, I didn't do anything else. So for these people to be catching on, do yourself the favor. Get the fuck in front of the line, because if you don't, you're gonna be mad you didn't. Just what it is.
Yep.
I thought I read somewhere that the NFL had just banned NFTs like last week or something.
Good.
You serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
The NFL banned NFTs,
though, isn't it? That's a good thing.
The NBA, they're right into the NFTs.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Coffee Dealer did a scam expose on an on an NBA player who he went back and looked at his tweets. And so his tweets started off saying, "Hey guys, I'm interested in learning about NFTs." And literally within 7 days, he launched his own NFT project, and the backgrounds had been stolen from Fortnite. So they'd used scenes from Fortnite, the video game, as the backgrounds, and then people called him out on that. So they just deleted the backgrounds and had the same NFTs with just blank backgrounds.
Nice.
It was hilarious.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
What is this? What's this about? See this one? What's this? That doesn't make sense.
Egg slut?
What? Bring it back.
What is that?
Bring it back up.
What?
It's like, what's that?
I don't.
Get in the cookers. Get in the kitchen.
Is an innovation.
Hey?
Yeah, get in the kitchen.
I'm going to check Nomic, see if that's a crypto. That's a crypto I would buy.
I think you got the wrong impression about me. I'm all about empowering women, and I treat them with respect. I treat them the way I expect I would like to be treated. That's why I do that with everyone.
Hang on.
Should we make our own crypto called Egg Slut?
Yeah, we'll go right next to the rug muncher.
Oh, we can make our own NFT.
We got Egg Slut and rug muncher. What was that other one? What did I say?
I'd buy that NFT.
The Hornswoggler.
I've never bought an NFT in my life, but I'll buy the rug muncher.
Oh, geez, so old school, mate. Like that. This is
Unrex, we need to make you a gay time. Unrex, we're going to make you a gay time NFT, bro.
Hey, I don't want you preying on innocent people and taking their money. I don't want.
We could do it and only give them away for free.
Yes.
Free, although sell them for money.
We'll donate them to a good charity of some sort. Some starving kids in Japan or somewhere.
In Japan.
Oh,
dude, there are no starving kids in Japan. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, they would be somewhere in the world. Just remember how lucky you are to live in this country. Stop saying
something interesting that I heard.
It's gone to the dogs at the moment.
It said that Twitter's considering having some kind of actual validation so that you would get some kind of check, like, you know how you've got like the blue check mark for a legitimate profile or whatever if you're a celebrity. This would be some kind of other check mark verification thing to confirm whether the profile picture that you are using is actually an NFT that you own or whether you've just screenshotted it. I don't necessarily agree with it, and they're not confirmed that they're definitely doing it. But I guess that would give like a little bit more validity than to these people who have got NFTs as their profile pictures, trying to look like they spent, ridiculous amounts of ETH on these freaking JPEGs.
Matt, I need to talk to you guys about NFTs after the stream. So
I'm in.
How we go? Guess what? I got the little bell back. I got the little bell.
You got the bell?
Yeah.
Okay, George Chops, and can someone help me with that name?
Yeah.
I know that guy in real life.
I think George Chops.
It's YouTube. Oh yeah, so
we will the
Yingwei Wildy was he claimed that last week he actually won the guessing comp, but you guys made a rule that the person had to be on stream, and he reckons even though he was in the chat, we didn't see him or something, and he gave it to a chick named Emma.
No, Emma's was closer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. We saw. It's a guy, right? We saw
it's a dude. Yeah,
we saw. It's just.
And there's actually
it's because Emma was closer, but we didn't know if she was in the chat, right?
Oh,
we called her out. We said, "Are you here, Emma? Because if you're not here, then you're not going to win." Mm-hmm. And then she showed up. So
all right.
Shout out to Emma, last week's Oracle.
Yeah.
And
hey, we got excellent support in the chat. We've got over 230 people watching us live.
Wow, nice.
It's a great privilege. It's a great privilege to have everyone on board with us tonight, and hope you're enjoying the conversation we have. I know it's been a little bit sort of ad hoc tonight, and we do that from time to time. Day 43. We're going to wind up soon, or we're going to
wind up? We're going to wind up.
Yep.
Does anyone want any parting words?
Well, I just want to throw out mad respect that if, that's the second week in a row that Yingwei Wildy has got, but 2 weeks in a row. That's pretty madness. That's pretty mad.
So is that?
We're mates in real life. We actually went to uni together, and he was watching my streams and like commenting, but I didn't know because that's not a real name. And so yeah. He's a legend. He's a dude. We went to uni together.
Hang on.
I'm glad you clarified that wasn't his real name. By the
way. Actually guessed 42.5. The thing might be the Oracle this week.
You sound a bit muffled, man. Is there something on your mic or something?
You can't hear me?
No, you sound better.
Probably just had my fingers over it. Yeah. Sammy Chicker guessed 42.5 cents, which I think is like the closest.
Yeah, price right now is 40.5.
42.5. So Sammy Chicker won it.
But Sammy Chicker's not in the chat.
She's not here.
She can't win. She's not in the chat.
For the home team.
Then. Same again next week. What do we?
So we've got two winners this week. We've got two winners. We've got George Chops. Is that right?
I think Sammy's actually the closer because I have to go manually through. Let me just go through the rest of them quickly while you guys talk.
While you guys do your final shout outs.
I still want to know how to pronounce this.
Man, I don't even know. I'd have to ask him.
So what do we learn? What do we learn tonight, boys and girls? We learn anything? I think we learned. We got Tej at over 1,000 subscribers. What else do we learn?
Wales managed to flip my opinion on the word viral. So when you guys started discussing it, I hadn't thrown in my opinion yet, but I was actually on the opposing side with Blue Bum and Jexa about that. I was thinking along the lines that they were thinking on, and Wales managed to flip my opinion.
Here we go.
So that's what I learned.
Good stuff.
Sammy the Oracle, well done. I think from what I can look through, it looks like Sammy got it. There was some notable mentions.
Nice.
Chops and the one we can't pronounce.
Can someone try? Please try.
Well, it's like when Prince changed his name into a symbol. And
Thanks,
you know how
Jacob
when
Butler.
Prince and the Prince had to be referred to as the artist formerly known as Prince?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, the hexagon with the unpronounceable name.
Hey, look, we hope everyone out there is doing well. You know, look, we've had a it's been an enjoyable stream. We do like having these conversations. We don't take any of this stuff for granted. And look, there is a serious side to it as well. Go on to hex.com, have a look at the website, read and learn, spend a bit of time, invest it if you're going to be putting money into something. Not financial advice, but yeah, do your own research and make sure that you understand as best you can. And then however you want to play it, that's the beauty of it. There's no right or wrong way. Well, there probably is, but I mean, it's a pretty safe bet I wouldn't even call it bet. It's a good, sound, solid investment. To me, I'd rather personally have my money sitting in Hex than sitting in the bank account. That's just me.
Same.
Just from
Me too, for sure.
It's
No-brainer.
It's great. Hex has been so good to me. I'm very, very privileged to be in this community, this truly decentralized global network community with people from all over the world. It's great. And look, I wish you all good luck and good fortune and more wishes. And thanks for listening in. That's all I've got. Day 43.
And a big thanks to Wales for coming on, mate. We appreciate it very
Wales,
much.
of course. Yes, indeed.
Friend of the show. And
friend of the show.
Always welcome here, mate. Always welcome here. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Blue Bum, Tangent, Sammy, Jexa, Unwrecked. Guys, we're out.